The children were hungry. They looked out the window. Where was their mother? She walked into the house. The children ran over to her. "Mama, we're so hungry," they both said. She said lunch was coming. She walked into the kitchen. She opened a can of chicken soup. She poured the soup into a pot. She added water. She put the pot on the stove. She made 2 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. She sliced an apple. The soup was hot. She poured it into 2 bowls. She put the sandwiches on 2 plates. She put apple slices on each plate. She put the bowls and plates on the table. The children ran to the table. "Thank you, Mommy," they said. Then they started eating. The cat and the dog watched them eat. I am an adult. I'm not a kid. I'm a grown-up. I need some money. I have no food. I am hungry. I am not thirsty because water is everywhere, but water has no taste. I want to drink a soda. I want to drink milk. I want to drink coffee. I want to work. Nobody will hire me. Nobody is hiring anybody. Companies are firing people. Companies are laying off people. Everyone is looking for a job. I cannot pay my rent. I will have to live in my car. I don't want to live in my car. My car has no bed. Everyone should live in a house or an apartment. Many people don't have a car. They live on the street. A street has no bed. Nobody should live on the street. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. Maybe I will go to church. Maybe I will find help there. I am lonely. I am always by myself. I meet people every day. I smile at them. I say hello. I am nice to them. I want to have a friend, but I have no friends. What is wrong with me? I am polite. I am friendly. I am nice. I am kind. Why don't people like me? All I want is one friend. Everyone has one friend. I always see people with their friends. They laugh with each other. They have fun with each other. They do things with each other. What about me? I am by myself. I watch TV by myself. I go to movies by myself. I go to restaurants by myself. I go to the park by myself. I told my mother that I am lonely. She said it is my fault. Why? I asked. She said, because you never ask anyone to be with you. My mom is right. I never ask people to be with me. I am afraid they will say no. I am happy. I have many friends. I have a large family. I have 4 brothers and 4 sisters. I am in the middle. 4 brothers are older than me. 4 sisters are younger than me. I go to school. I am in the 6th grade. I like my teachers. My teachers like me. I have friends in every class. My favorite class is history. I like to read about history. History is a story about our past. Soon, we will all be history. Then kids in school will read about us. I hope they like our stories. My best friend is Bobby. Bobby and I do many things together. We swim together. We play basketball together. We ride our bikes together. I have many other friends. We all go to the mall on weekends. We go to movies. We go to restaurants. We tell jokes. We laugh. We have fun. Life is great. She was angry. She was angry at her husband. He lied to her. He lied many times. She was tired of his lies. She said enough was enough. She took off her ring. She dropped it into the toilet. She flushed the toilet. She got into her car. She got on the freeway. She drove the car fast. She was crying. She was very sad. She drove the car faster. She passed many cars. The speed limit was 60 miles per hour. She was going 80 miles per hour. A cop saw her. The cop chased her. The cop turned on his red light. He turned on his siren. She heard the cop car. She saw the flashing light. She drove faster. Now she was going 90 miles per hour. The cop drove faster. It started to rain. She didn't slow down. She lost control. The car rolled over. It rolled over and over. She died before it came to a stop. The farmer drives a tractor. The tractor digs up the ground. He plants yellow corn in the ground. He plants the yellow corn in the spring. The corn grows in the summer. The rain helps the corn grow. If there is no rain, the corn dies. If there is a lot of rain, there is a lot of corn. He harvests the yellow corn in late summer. He sells the corn at his vegetable stand. He sells 1 ear for 25 cents. He sells 4 ears for $1. He sells all his corn in just 1 month. The neighbors love his corn. The corn is fresh. It is bright yellow. It is tasty. It is delicious. The birds love his corn too. They don't pay for it. They eat it while it is in the field. They don't cook it. They eat it raw. The farmer doesn't get angry. Birds have to eat too. So do cows. The farmer has one cow. He gives his cow fresh corn every summer. The cow loves the corn. It eats a lot of yellow corn in the summer. Sometimes it makes yellow milk. The husband and wife wanted to have a baby. They prayed for a baby. God answered their prayers. The doctor said they were going to have a baby. The wife asked, "How many?" The doctor said he didn't know yet. The husband and wife were very happy. Now they would have a baby. They both wanted to have a baby. They visited the doctor a month later. He examined the wife. He used a special machine. He saw the baby. He saw more than one baby. He saw 2 babies. He saw more than 2 babies. He counted the babies. He told the wife, "You will have more than 1 baby. You will have 8 babies." The wife couldn't believe it. Her husband couldn't believe it. 8 babies. "We will have a big family," said the husband. "We will have a very big family," said the wife. "But how can we pay for all these babies?" asked the husband. "We can pay for 1 baby, but 8 babies cost a lot of money. How can we pay for 8 babies?" The wife said, "We will find a way. God will help us find a way." They both smiled. They would have a big, happy family. He was late. He was always late. Why did time always go so fast? Time always went too fast. He looked at his watch. He looked at the clock on the wall. They both said 6:10 p.m. He had to leave in 10 minutes, but first he had to shave. Then he had to brush his teeth. Then he had to get dressed. Shaving took time. Brushing his teeth took time. Getting dressed took time. But he had only 10 minutes. So he turned off the TV. He turned off the radio, too. He turned off the table lamp. He went into the bathroom. He shaved. He brushed his teeth. He went into his bedroom. He got dressed. He looked at his watch. He looked at the clock on the wall. They both said 6:25 p.m. He had to hurry. He went out to his car. He drove fast. He slowed down at a stop sign. A cop saw him. The cop wrote him a ticket. "Why didn't you stop at the stop sign?" the cop asked. "But officer, I was in a hurry," he said. The cop gave him a ticket. The cop said, "Leave home earlier next time." He had a blue car. He loved his blue car. It was dark blue. It had 4 doors. It was not a new car. It was an old car, but it had new tires. It had new black tires. All 4 tires were new. He felt safe with his new tires. They would not blow out. He could drive everywhere with his new tires. His car was dirty. He needed to wash it. The windows were dirty. The doors were dirty. The hood was dirty. The trunk was dirty. The bumpers were dirty. The tires weren't dirty. They were new tires. They were black and shiny. They looked good. He did not have to wash his tires, but he did have to wash his car. He put water into a bucket. He put a sponge into the bucket. He washed his car with the sponge. He dried his car with a towel. His car was shiny blue now. It looked like new. Now his old car was as shiny as his new tires. The TV reporter coughed. Then she coughed again. The other TV reporter was worried. "Are you okay?" he asked. She couldn't answer. She continued to cough. She coughed and coughed. The other reporter dialed 911. "What is the emergency?" the 911 person asked. "I think my friend is dying," said the reporter. "What is your address?" asked the 911 person. "We are at 123 West Hill Street," said the reporter. "Someone will be right there," said the 911 person. But then the woman stopped coughing. She said she was fine. She said thanks to the other reporter. He said, "You're welcome." He called 911 again. He said the emergency was over. He said his friend was okay. She would not die. She was going to live. The 911 person was glad to hear that. Dark clouds were in the sky. The sun went down. The weather got cold. The wind started to blow. Leaves blew off the trees. Paper flew through the air. People buttoned their jackets. The rain started to fall. At first, it was quiet. Then it got louder. It was a storm. The rain was very loud. The man couldn't hear his TV. He turned up the volume. Now he could hear his TV. He looked outside his door. He looked at the rain. It was pouring off his roof. It was a flood. Then he saw lightning. Then he heard thunder. It was a very cold night. The rain changed to hail. The hail was very noisy. He turned up the TV volume again. Now he could hear his TV again. He watched TV for a while. Then he looked outside again. All the cars were white. The street was white. The ground was white. The hail covered everything. The hail looked just like snow. He wanted to make a big snowman, but you can't make a snowman out of hail. You can only make a snowman out of snow. The baby bird was in his nest. He was in his nest with his sister. Their nest was high up in the tree. They were waiting for Mama Bird. Mom always brought them food. They were hungry. When would Mom come home? Would she bring them a worm? Would she bring them a fish? Would she bring them a piece of bread? What would Mom bring them? They looked at the squirrel. The squirrel looked at them. The squirrel put a nut in their nest. The birds looked at the nut. How could they eat a nut? They didn't have strong teeth. The squirrel has strong teeth. The baby birds had no teeth. They had beaks, but no teeth. They heard Mom. They knew her voice. They knew the sound of her wings. She brought them some food. It was still warm. It was delicious. It was pizza. It was pizza with cheese. Baby birds love pizza with cheese. They were so happy. How delicious. He looked at his watch. It was time for the bus. Where was the bus? He was at the bus stop. He stood up. He looked down the street. No bus. He looked up the street. No bus. Where in the world was the bus? It was time for the bus to arrive. He sat down on the bench. It was getting cold. The wind was blowing. He didn't have a jacket. He was wearing shorts. He was wearing flip-flops. His head was cold. His arms were cold. His legs were cold. His feet were cold. His toes were cold. His toes were turning blue. Where was the bus? He stood up again. He looked down the street. He saw the bus. It was coming. In a minute, he would be on the warm bus. In a minute, his nose would be warm. His hands would be warm. His whole body would be warm. How nice. The bus arrived, but it didn't stop. It kept going. It was the wrong bus. He looked at his watch again. Where was the bus? She had big brown eyes. Her sister had big blue eyes. Her brother had big green eyes. Her mother had a gray eye and a green eye. Her father had black eyes. Why are our eyes different? She asked her mom. Who knows? Said her mom. Life is strange. It is full of mystery. This is a mystery to all of us. She asked her teacher. She asked the doctor. She asked the nurse. She asked the mailman. Nobody knew why her family had different color eyes. Finally, she asked the librarian. A librarian reads a lot. A librarian works in the library. A librarian is surrounded by books. Books have information. Lots of information. The librarian looked in all her books. She called other librarians. They looked in all their books. Still, nobody knew the answer. "I'm sorry, little girl," the librarian said. "Maybe someone will invent a computer someday. Then I will give you an answer. But for now, your big brown eyes and your sister's big blue eyes are a big mystery." The chicken and the duck were friends. They lived on a farm. They walked around together. They swam in the pond together. They talked about many things. They talked about the cat. They thought the cat was tricky. They thought the cat was dangerous. The cat looked at them a lot. They didn't trust the cat. "We must always keep our eyes open when the cat is around," they both agreed. They talked about the dog. The dog was very friendly. The dog wanted to play. The dog had lots of energy. It barked a lot. It ran around a lot. They both liked the dog. They talked about the farmer. The farmer brought them food. The farmer took care of them. The farmer took care of all the animals. He fed the cow. He fed the pig. He fed the goat. He fed the sheep. He fed the rabbit. They liked the farmer. He took good care of everyone. He was a nice man. "Farmers are good," said the chicken. "We need farmers," said the duck.